Hello world, I want to make a how-to video on the Instapot. So when you plug it in, it's going to say off, and then you're gonna put all of your things in there, whatever it is. There's a max fill line, but most Instapot recipes, they don't go like super, like they're not like in high quantities. So most of the things that I make in my Instapot, I use either the meat button, like if you're gonna do a roast, or like chicken, and then I always just use the meat and stew button, honestly. I don't use any of this. I have never used any of this other stuff. And then saute. So saute, you press that. If you want to brown something, you just press it. And then you can adjust it if you want to go like low, medium, or high. You adjust, and then you just let it go. And then it'll start on its own. And then if you want to, whenever you want to turn that off, you just hit cancel. Okay, so let's pretend that I put everything in there that it says in the recipe. So the meat and the broth and whatever spices and whatever it says to do. So I put that all in there. Oh, and sometimes I'll spray the inside with nonstick spray. It just helps to like for cleanup later on. I think that's okay with this metal, but I do it, whatever. So you put everything in there, and then you put the lid on, and you can see right here it says open, and then like back here, that's kind of how it looks. It's like in that spot, and then you just twist it. Okay, it won't turn on unless you have it in close. So here's the close, so it's meeting close and close. So it's closed. Listen. Mine does that noise anyway. And then you want to just make sure that this is on sealing, not venting, because that's where the pressure builds up. And then you just click on, usually I do meat, and then if you want it to be less, or more, I just leave it on more, but if you want it to be less, you just hit adjust. Then you can adjust your time here, however many minutes, and then you just let go of it, and then it's gonna start, it'll just start on its own. It'll start building pressure, it'll start hissing. It hisses steam until you, back here, it hisses steam until you, until it builds to pressure, and then it'll stop steaming. And then when it's done, you can just release the pressure. It's kind of freaky at first, but like just make sure you're like out of the way. You just release the pressure by going there, and just like, and then it'll release the pressure. And then once it goes and like releases the pressure, I just put that back to venting. It doesn't matter. So when all the pressure is released and it's not hissing anymore, you just twist and open, and voila. I will say that with a lot of recipes, I usually add cornstarch to the liquid. You know, where you mix cornstarch and water and to thicken the liquid, so that and then I turn it to the saute again to heat it up without the lid on. Like saute it, so it's like a little pot. And then you saute it, and then that helps to thicken the liquid, and that's always nice to have a thicker liquid for going over like your rice or whatever. So those are my Instapot tips.